What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to Trading Live with Bubba. And of course, markets are a little bit wild this morning. Not real heavy volume, but certainly some big swings in gold and in crude and in the indices themselves. We're running higher right now after a couple of days of selling. Will we get any opportunities? We might. I mean, it's getting more action. Certainly, just for those of you who do some regular trading and trade more than just the indices, certainly you might want to look at the grain markets, corn, wheat, soybeans. Any one of those, I think, are a buy somewhere in here. Again, it's not a day trade, but certainly I would be anxious or looking to buy. But overall, from a day trading standpoint, right now we don't have anything to do, but we'll be looking and we'll be watching as we continue to focus on what the opportunities are, we'll see. It's been a decent week. Gold is obviously really wild right now, so you have to be a little bit more cautious, and if you're going to trade gold, you have to be willing to take a little bit more risk because of the movement. I mean, we're moving in gold. You're moving $100 a day. You're moving $5-6 at a time, which in real money, if you're trading the big contract, is $500-600 at a whack. Okay, and that means you have to use a much bigger stop. But again, that is something that we look at and are always prepared for. Right now, not much going on. Our open trades have done well and closed out last week. And obviously, we didn't do anything this week yet because we weren't here on Tuesday. But we'll see if we can find some other opportunities to trade off of. But here we're kind of just waiting. I would certainly believe that we are in a sell the rally mode. Again, I'm not recommending you do anything, but certainly I would be looking to sell rallies here. I think that's the trade to make, if any. Again, I'm not encouraging you to do anything, but that would be what I would be looking for is a sell into these rallies. The real key is going to be, do the markets make new highs, or are the highs in? This is the area to watch. I don't think they're going to make new highs. That would be my take and my view. But again, it doesn't make me right. But certainly we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Right now, again, we're kind of consolidating right now, looking for the next move. And, based on earlier action, the next move could probably be up. And I'd just be looking for an opportunity to sell higher. But that's, again, what we look for and we work on from a trading standpoint. But we're pretty much in consolidation pretty much everywhere right now. And we need a little bit of a solid spike, either up or down. We don't care which way. And of course, that is just the way that things go and the way that we do things. So we're not going to force action. Okay, so we're done with that bar. So there's nothing here. So let's take a look at some of the other stuff that we do look at. Remember, we had earnings coming out. So even if Apple were a trade, I probably wouldn't do anything right now because I know that anything I put on is going to be for the 31st. And of course, their earnings are the 30th. So nothing for Apple. Amazon, same thing. Although there is no trade anyways. But again, one of the things we have to remember, I don't really want to have positions going on into earnings. Coin, and really nothing anyways. Again, we're not extended. We're just kind of, chirping around in the range. So nothing to really do there. Crowd. Certainly, I would take a look at crowd and want to sell some call spread. So let's take a look here. Hold on. And everything we do today, unless it's in the indexes, will be for the 31st. And crowd, let's see here, 520. Okay, so now we lose the 520, 522.50 for $1.10. Yeah, I'm going to take that trade right now. 520, 522.50 for $1.10. Ether, nothing to do. Come off the bottom a little bit. Meta in the middle of nowhere right now. Google remains almost a sale every week, but right now nothing to do. INOQ came off the bottom. We missed that. But again, these are just so you understand, those are the things that you're looking for, is when markets become extended either up or down. Okay, again, we're not picking a direction. We're not trading with an opinion. We're just looking at it go. And IWM, really nothing. MP, really nothing. Microsoft, close, but not, again, I'm not going to reach here. MSTR, nothing really to look at here. NNE, nothing to look at here. Nugget would have been a buy yesterday, but we weren't here, so we can't do anything about it. NVIDIA, nothing to do. Palantir came off again. Notice that they typically come off those extended areas in either direction. Again, is it a perfect? No, nothing is 100%. It is just giving you the opportunity when you see a market that is overextended in one direction or the other. QBTS, nothing to do. Qs, nothing to do. SMCI, nothing to do yet. SPY, nothing to do yet. XYD, notice how it stays in that range of 72 to 80. Right now we're in the middle. Tesla, certainly you could look at selling some put spreads in Tesla. Let's see here. TSLA. And I can't get quotes on it. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. I know that there's some issues with the quoting platforms. I can't get quotes on Tesla right now, so I can't give you a trade. But I would sell the 425, 422.50 if I had the choice. I would sell that at over $1. If I had the option, I don't. I can't get a quote on it, so there's nothing I can do with that right now. Win, nothing to do. XBI, nothing to do. And Zoom, really nothing to do. So there's really not much. There's two trades. Tesla, which I cannot make. I would make it, but I cannot make it because I don't have any quotes, so it's hard for me to make a trade. And whatchamacallit, CROD, which we made at $1.10. Okay. So let's go back and see. And right now, obviously, there's not much going on here. We'll continue to watch it and be prepared for it. That's certainly something that we are prepared for. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so right now, not a lot to look at, but we'll continue to watch it and see. Maybe crude is coming up with something. Notice that since we've been here, the S&P and the Dow are still in that same little tight range. So not much to do there. But overall, there is a little bit more action, so hopefully it will continue, and we'll be able to actively trade. Certainly, Bitcoin is something to potentially look at if you trade that, but it is very thin and not one that I overly trade with a group. because of course we then affect our own liquidity when we do that. So I don't really like to give it out when there's a lot of people. There's just not enough liquidity there for us. So I think it's something important to look at. And again, it's the same story as we always have. Okay, is there an opportunity? Can we take advantage of that opportunity? And if not, well, then we sit back and we don't do anything. Okay. Again, a lot of money is made in this business by doing nothing. Okay. And that's something that you should always remember, is that money can be made because if you're not blowing your money, okay, then you put yourself in a much better position. Okay. And that's something that, we want to make sure that we're aware of and that we're ready for. Okay. Because again, why should we get involved unless we believe and have a perceived edge to the market? Okay. Like I said, so we had 2 trades, Crowd and Tesla for now, for spreads for next week. Call spreads and Crowd, put spreads in Tesla. Once again, I could not get the Tesla on because I can't get it, but actually I can show it to you on Thinkorswim. Let's see if they have quotes. My other platform does not right now, but I'll tell you the price that I would do it at. Once again, I cannot do it as much as I'd like to. And I would, as you know, I make all the trades with you myself. But I would sell on that. Now I'd look at selling the 427.50, 425 for $1.20. I would take that trade in a heartbeat. I just can't. I have no access to do so. Okay. But I would sell the 427.50, 425. Okay. For $1.20, anywhere around there would be great. Okay. All right. So again, we're sitting here waiting for something to activate. And unfortunately, we're not getting anything to activate. But again, we'll watch. There's nothing, I got nowhere to go. It's a business that takes a lot of patience. Some days we get in few trades. This morning in my live trading room, for the 45 minutes we were there, we had about 11 trades. So again, it just depends on what's going on with the overall market. I cannot dictate what's supposed to happen. I can only trade what comes in front of me. Okay. And I think that's important for everybody to remember, is you can only trade what you have the opportunity to trade. You cannot trade things that are not available. You don't want to use your opinion. You don't want to think that something's going to happen. You want to let the charts and let the markets dictate to you what should be next. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to fire them in. I'll answer anything, okay, including about the gambling scandal this morning in the NBA between the poker and the betting and La Cosa Nostra. Interesting. But I think that could do some damage to Kelce, which is part of Robinhood. But anyways, so as we look again, right now, I don't have anything to do. So I'm not going to do anything when I have nothing to do. I'm going to wait. Okay. There was like a trader earlier in crude, a sale. There was a couple of trades in gold, again. But right now, we're not extending. We're not getting any real volume. We're not getting any real spikes. So what should I do? Well, I should sit here and watch and not do anything. Okay. That's really the more important part of trading, is, like I said, the ability to do nothing is important. Okay. The ability to just sit and observe is important. That is something that will, over the long haul, will make you more money than anything else. Okay. The ability to sit and do nothing. And I think that's a hard lesson for many to learn, but that's an important lesson for you to learn. Again, until the market triggers to me that there's something that I should be firing on, why should I fire? but I do think we're in a sell the rally mode in gold. I think we're in a sell the rally mode in the indexes. But I mean, that means that you get a rally sharp enough into a resistance level that gives you an opportunity. Okay. And I think that's the more important part of it. Okay. Is recognizing when you do have the opportunity. Okay. So I think it's important to be prepared and look. But we are just kind of sitting in a consolidating manner right now. So really not a lot to do. And if there's not a lot to do, we're not going to do a lot. One of the other things you may look at if you trade futures, I trade this all the time, and that is the spread between the S&P and the Dow future. Right now, I would be buying Dow, selling S&P. The spread is way out. Okay, on a big contract, the spread is out about $850. So I'd be playing what we call the rubber band trade, looking for it to revert back to the mean. So that would be a trade that I would certainly, I do have it on right now. So it's not that I'm considering it, I do have it on. Okay, but it would be buy Dow, sell S&P 1-to-1. That spread goes in and out, and they're virtually the same products, just one's a bigger model. So when the markets are bullish, the S&P will outperform the Dow. When the markets are bearish, the Dow will outperform the S&P. And that's, of course, how we make our money on that trade. Certainly one to think about and consider. Again, these are ideas that you can use if you're looking for things to do. Okay. Again, but that trade, just be very careful. That trade you have to be willing to add if it goes against you. So you start with let's say you trade 4 micros, just to say it. Okay. You start with 2. Okay. And you add a third if needed, and then you add a fourth until you max out your position. Okay. That's something that you should consider because it's a way to participate, and then you can scalp around or off an open position. Okay. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of creativity you can use in the world of trading. Okay. If you understand it. And when I'm trading the S&P and the Dow, the 30 Dow stocks are in the S&P. Okay. So they're going to trade somewhat similar. Now, right now, the total value of the Dow is about 290,000. Excuse me, 250,000. The total value of the S&P is around 337,000. Believe it or not, in 2008, the Dow was worth more than the S&P. Okay. So again, that spread goes out and it comes back like a rubber band, out and in, out and in. And this is a time, I think, to take advantage of the extension right now, based on the rally, and something that you can look at if you trade that. And you got to be willing to hold it. It's not necessarily going to be a day trade. You got to be willing to hold, and you got to be willing to add. Okay, those are important things to remember. Okay, if you're going to, and again, if you're not going to trade it, no big deal. But that's what I do trade. I trade it not every day, but once it's extended. I mean, I started putting it on last night. Okay, and it's a trade that, again, I have some bit of protection, so it's not like I have to worry. Okay, I know it can happen. So I think it's important for you to all understand. In the meantime, we're not going to get a trade because I'm not going to be able to help you manage it. So we have Tesla we put on, sold put spreads. I didn't put it on because I could not, but I would have sold put spreads in Tesla, call spreads in Crowd, okay, and nothing else right now. In the meantime, remember, I do a market 120 every morning, giving you an idea of what I think ahead of time before the markets actually open. And we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.